2, 1. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Are you ready? I'm holding on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 1, 2. You getting that, yeah? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Martin starts off. It's probably a lot of sense about that. Feel that's the most positive performance your team has put in this season. Do you feel you as a coach?
Yeah, I think we're going in the right direction, and tonight was progress on what we've done in previous weeks. It's just a shame, you know, I'm going to repeat myself, but we've made you know, really sort of basic and avoidable mistakes, which kind of sort of shadows a lot of the good things that we had done in that first half. Because I thought, you know, our organisation, our threat, the fact that we kind of stood up and made ourselves sort of accountable and showed a bit of personality was really, really encouraging. And then we've had a massive chance, hit the crossbar, somehow not put the ball in the back of the net. And then, I don't know what it was, 30, 40 seconds later, they've gone up the other end and we've kind of put it on a plate for them. And I think that kind of sums up our season so far. You know, there are a lot of good bits in moments, but we kind of seem to keep, you know, shooting ourselves in our own foot, which is annoying. But I'm happy with a lot of players. I'm happy with the collective. I'm happy with, you know, the way we've, you know, kind of shown a bit more who we are and what we're about. But there's no denying that we need to urgently sort of eradicate and rub out those mistakes that we are making. Because a lot of that was positive and good. But again, you're sitting here saying that and you've lost 2-1.
That 45 seconds is what it is. But I suppose in a different game, maybe the response to it isn't as good as it is. In a different season, Saints lose that game 2-3 goals. But that isn't that's what's positive.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, like I said, you know, we've kind of stuck together and run for each other and done a lot of good things. I think our shape in and out of possession was quite interesting. I think a lot of the times we managed to play around their press and then through. We've created, you know, a few really interesting situations, and you know, it's just not quite clicking, and we're getting there. It's taking a bit of time, and it's taking a bit of, you know, a bit of frustration also. But we are getting there, and at some point it will click, and it will, you know, we will move through the gears. But I guess that's just where we're at for the moment. But I think, you know, we wanted players to have a reaction to the way we lost on Saturday, and we've had that in a lot of players. So that's a really good thing, and it gives us a lot of, you know, interesting options for the league on Saturday.
When you touched on the weekend, but you're also playing against a different defence today. One was a bit higher up. There's some nice space there. A lot of your players trying to exploit behind them. Can you make a game against a low block and someone just sitting there inviting pressure to look like that?
Well, I think that's the hardest thing to do in football. I think playing against a low block is incredibly difficult, and you've got to be very tidy. You've got to be, you know, clinical when you do get the small opportunities that come your way. But maybe there is a way of you know, inviting the opposition out a bit more and giving them a bit more of the ball, and you know, us staying in a bit more of a block, because I think our possession stats are stupid since the start of the season. But that's just where we're at. I think we're trying to work it all out. I think I said it before the game to the TV. We've had sort of 3 different squads. We've had a squad to start pre-season. We've had a squad to start the league, and then we've had a squad to, you know, pick up after the international break and after the transfer window. You know, and that takes a bit of time. I think it takes a bit of, you know, training and a bit of, you know, people starting to know each other and understand where everyone's going. But I think we've laid a lot of positive things down today that we need to build on. But we also need to stop conceding stupid goals. So. Yeah, all 3 of them were really interesting. I think they, you know, Ellie hasn't played a game for a very long time, and that's why we've been sort of patient with him and not kind of dropped him in there. But he's done incredibly well. Leo was, you know, showed his personality. He can get on the ball. He can run at people. But again, those players haven't, you know, that front 3 hadn't played together yet this season. And Kasper's, I thought he was incredibly good at the weekend, and he's put in another really solid performance. I just hope he's all right, sort of moving forward, because he's got a really nasty sort of ankle right at this moment in time. But there are positives. We need to look at those and keep building on those. But we need to also be honest and say that we can't keep saying that.
You talked about first contacts in the box at the weekend. I think you've got someone like Nathan Wood today who does exactly that. Does he give you something to think about the weekend?
Yeah, Woody's brilliant. I think Woody probably didn't deserve to come out of the team when he did, when we went to a back four. And I thought he was incredibly good. I thought he was stable. I thought he was brave on the ball as well when he did step in and when he did slap it out wide. And that's what we wanted. We wanted people to stand up. We wanted people to take a stake at being in the team at this Saturday. And Woody's certainly done it.
You mentioned the sort of forward back and three back then. You said before this game that it's obviously a one-off, it's a unique tactical game against.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
Yeah. Can you take this into the weekend? Can you go into the weekend with the same shape, the same team?
Yeah, we also have to take the opposition into consideration because they're playing that sort of 5-2-3 as well. So it's just how we, best animate it to cause them the same problems that we did, Liverpool tonight. But we'll work it out.
Well, just about Damien now to kick him on, a couple of minutes into the second half, struggled maybe to get himself into the game. How do you help him impose himself a little bit more in the position?
By we need to keep working with him. We need to keep encouraging him, keep showing him what the space looks like and how we can get into there. We almost sort of have to encourage him to pick a fight, go and pick a fight with someone, and make it difficult, and then get into the game that way. But like I said, it's work in progress. Not all transfers are going to come in and hit the ground running, and just click and understand the culture, the league, the oppositions, and our team, itself. So yeah, Damien's he started on Saturday, played 60, 65, whatever it was. He's come on tonight and played a good chunk of the second half, and we just need to keep working with him and helping him on that sort of journey into the team.
I think you've got Rostream to the other one. Obviously, strikers, you've got a bit of height, but they do seem quite different. Sort of, what is it that you like about Damien bringing him on first and then Rostream a little bit later on?
I think we've got 4 really good strikers, and it's just we need to. They're all completely different. They've all got completely different profiles. So there's you sort of take into account the opposition, the scenario of the game, where we're at as a team as well. And Roscoe's probably the only one, by the cup game in Norwich that hasn't had that, sort of big chance yet. But again, we need to, that will come at some point because football is the way it is. And it's a really fine balance that you need to find with those strikers, but also all the players around them. And that's what we're working on.
Hi, Will. Speaking of strikers, Hugo from the time still at Rams. I saw you having a chat with him before the game. Did he tell you he was going to score, and how impressed have you been with his start to his life in English football?
Yeah, Hugo's cracks me up. He's a funny lad. He said we just caught up before the game, and he said he'd come on and score, and then give me a shirt and bugger off, which is exactly what he's done. So yeah, fair play to him. I think we sold him to PSG for 50 million, so we knew he'd got a bit about him, and he'd scored a lot of goals for us as well. And he's a constant threat, and he's incredibly annoying to play against. So fair play to him.
Brilliant. Thank you guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Richard, start us off.
No, I would prefer to start with something positive, which is not positive, but the tribute we gave Matt Beard was, I think, of Liverpool standards. So how the fans always do this is something what it makes me proud to represent this club. How we always find a way to be so respectful for people that have done so much for our club. So. And then we go immediately, because of your question, to the last minutes of the game, where Hugo got a second yellow card. That is, what were your 2 words?
Did you think it was needless? Did you think it was...
That was needless, yes, and?
Did you think it was a bit stupid?
And it was stupid, yeah, it was. So I can, in the first one, was already needless and to a certain extent stupid, because you have to control your emotions. And I know how hard it is if you play Premier League or every league in the world. If you're number 9, then the defender can almost do everything he wants. And then when you shirt pull a little bit or you push him a little bit, then you get a free kick against you. But it's always the best to control your emotions. And if you cannot control your emotions, do it in a way that it doesn't lead to a yellow card. So I think I said when I got my red card against Everton, that's always stupid, because it is you can show your emotions, but if it leads to a yellow or red card, then it's stupid, and that's what happened in the first yellow. And then I told him as well, and I said it to numerous media already. If you score in the Champions League final in the 87th minute after outplaying 3 players and hitting it in the top corner, I can maybe understand that you are like, this is all about me, what did I do? But I'm old-fashioned, I'm 47, and old, maybe. And I haven't played on this level, but I did score a few goals, and if I would have scored a goal like this, I would have turned around and walked up to, in this situation, Federico Chiesa, and say, this goal is all about you. This is not about me. So yeah. Needless, not smart. You call it stupid. I call it stupid, by the way, as well.
Paul?
Yeah. How's Leone? Of course, he's down. Is down the way to say it? Yeah. Because for him it didn't feel good immediately, but this is something now we have to how do you say it? Do research on or assess. And normally these things don't happen in 5 to 10 minutes. You have to wait for tomorrow to see how he comes in, and then maybe do an MRI scan to know more about how serious it is. But normally the emotions of a player tell you a lot. I saw during the weekend a player in the Dutch Eredivisie who went out completely in tears, and he felt himself what was also Ruben van Bommel, by the way, at PSV. And a day later it proved to be that he was right, but let's hope for the best. It's not his shoulder. It's not his shoulder.
You mentioned Federico and his involvement in that second goal, the second half tonight. He was everywhere really throughout the team on the pitch. What do you think if he's doing?
I think what you want to see. So I can accept completely that a team that plays for the first time together, players that haven't played for a long time, that they don't play as a team perfect. But what I always want to see is players that try, that work hard. So I said at half-time, for me it's completely not a coincidence that Federico picked the ball and assisted on the first, because he was the one, in my opinion, that was most involved in the game, tried the most, worked the hardest. And then it wasn't a coincidence again that he was the man that made a deep run. Great ball by Robbo, by the way, who also has won so much at this club and also understands how to play this game. Not underestimated, just always be ready to play. And that's also the way to get yourself either back in the team or get as much playing minutes as you want. that's why I was happy with a few individual performances, but far from happy from a few other individual performances.
Can you elaborate on who you were far from happy with?
No, but I think these players, what I mean, I think they know already.
Chris?
Yeah, it's nice because it's only 6 or 7 days ago when he made his debut. I just asked, was it 2 weeks ago that we played Burnley? He said, no, it's only 1 week ago. So time goes so fast that sometimes you don't understand how long it took. But we got him not in the best circumstances in terms of match fitness. So we have to build it up. And the downside to that is that you cannot play a player 90 minutes. And if you only play him 45 or 30, or again like today 45, it might then normally take a while before he scores his first goal. Because we can all understand if you play a player 3 times 90, it's a bigger chance that he scores a goal than when you play him 45, 30, 45. And he's the record, British record signing. And there's hardly anyone talks about this, so maybe it's smart for me to talk about this. So there will be then pressure on if it takes a while before he scores a goal, because he's the record British signing. No one says this, so I repeat it. So yeah, I think the best moment to start to see where he is and how much he can help us. You can already see that he can help us, but the best when he comes back, hopefully from the Swedish national team, when he stayed fit, played there many minutes, plays for us in the upcoming weeks, a few minutes. Then I think after that, then his pre-season has ended and we can expect even more from him. But till now, I'm very happy with what I've seen from him.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys.